just really awful. So, and do not confuse people. Confusion is giving a wrong signal. People don't know who you are, and feeling, might gets involved. We, as a man and a woman, with certain standard in our head to see somebody is beautiful and attractive. Essentially, in the course of mankind, mostly, majority of the times, men, they do not have long hairs. Women always have long hairs. So Baha'u'llah says, do not make your hair to be too long, Just go to the earlobes. Do not improvise as a man that you are a woman. It gives wrong signals. We should not be. Your ear has to be clear, he says, all the time. It just helps people to have a better understanding of who you are and what you are. These are some of the things that he says to do to create some good habits as a society, some common values, which majority of the people of the earth, they accept it. It's a part of their ethics. Some of it, is harder for others, but generally speaking, it is something that most people accept. For example, celebrations, Christian, they get Christmas, Muslim, they go, some other religious days. Baha'u'llah says that let's celebrate nature. So one of the most important festivals in the Baha'i faith is called Nowruz. Is actually 22nd of March, the first day of spring. It's the day that nature renews itself. If all the people, it's acceptable. This sounds to be acceptable. That ancient Iranian, in the Zoroastrian religion, by the way, they had Nowruz as one of their main celebrations. And Baha'u'llah has adopted this day for entire people, with all the people of the earth, because it just seems its initiations has some natural ground. Although we have other days in the Baha'i faith, 9 days altogether, that are holy days. But this particular one, Nowruz, which means new day, is set to, again, create a common value. So when we keep practicing the same things, gradually it becomes a habit, but it becomes a universal thing. So when we meet each other, we bypass these superficial things and try to get to the bottom of who you are. Finally, by knowing you and hear your values and see the practice of what you do, that finally helps you and help other people, helps mankind. Many times I've mentioned that, and those are their qualities. The kindness, the bravery, the love, the compassion, forgiveness, giving, sacrifice, humbleness, humility. Those are the essentials, values of human by which we're called human. Now you want to dress it up by the tradition and customs, and you're trying to tell me that your difference with me is not arrogance and wickedness and compassion, but your difference with me is the color of your dress and mine, your appearance of having beard and I don't have. Baha'u'llah says, get rid of it. There is no dress code, he says. There is no dress code, he says. Anybody wants to dress any way they want to. And Abdul in the interpretation says that, however, this should not cause our dressing, like everything else, should not be an expression of harming other people. if you as a woman have an inviting, sexually inviting dress, others are bothered with it. It's misleading. Okay? We could dress somehow that you become, the laugh of the children, it says. If we keep the balance, it's fine. For example, people in the East always say, beard is a sign of wisdom or whatever. But Allah says there's no law for that. You want a beard or don't want a beard? It's fine. So, I'm looking at my time. I don't know how useful was it, but I try to bring up that some of these habits that we individually have, seemingly harmless, apparently different, but somehow we get together, we create a nation, now it becomes a force by which we might want to discriminate ourselves against others in an arrogant way, in a proud ways, seeking superiority, and then causing racism amongst the people. The sickness that has to be dealt with. And I gave you some of those prescriptions, essentially associate with all the people, of all the creeds, of all the religions. Try to learn a language that everyone in the world can speak. Marry even each other with differences. Do not look at religion as a standard for us to be different. No. Surpassive in that. And try to increase knowledge of each other so we can understand each other and love each other. And then create some new customs, new habits, that by which we can create this unity. Nowadays you pass by in the street, the guy says salam. Other guy says hello. Jews, they say shalom, So there are so many greetings even that we have immediately distinguishes, this guy's from that religion, this guy. But how we change that greeting? It says, okay, we do not call salam or hello or this or that. We just say Allahu Akbar. That's what I've been using all the time to tell you. God is glorious, it says. There is no virtue in saying salam instead of Allahu Akbar. But the underlying use of this creation of one word, it creates a unity. So then the people of the black or the white or, Jews or Germans or any nations, Baha'is, when they see each other and they say Allahu Akbar to each other, it just shows that they have a common values, that these elements that we as people are keen to adapt and call it culture or custom. And as I said, a lot of time we're trying to hide behind them, giving them a lot more than what they are apparently, thinking that's the difference, the criteria for superiority. We don't say salam, we say hello. But when I was in Iran as a kid, some of the Iranians, they had an early influence of French in them. There's a lot of French word in Iran. So, a Persian language, you want to say thank you, you say mutshakkaram or mamnoon. And all of a sudden this guy comes. Right now, it's on everybody's tongue, I think, even today. I haven't been in that country for, 30 years now. But they used to say merci, which is merci, of the French language. So the moment a person says merci instead of saying mamnoon or mutshakkaram, we could see that this person is trying to use this word to distinguish himself from others or separate himself from the rest. And then we look at it and say, oh, okay, he uses a French word for saying thank you. Just like to say that I'm not like you. In a way, he wants to humiliate others or bring them down or say I'm better or you're stupid, or you're reactionist, progressive. It's just a word. So word and little things that we call it habit, it could be misused for many in order to humiliate each other, differentiate each other. This is why essentially a lot of things in the religion comes, including in the Baha'i faith, is to get rid of these superficial things, and it seems that the only way you can get rid of it is to create new ones in their place, something that everybody can understand and accept. Okay, Christmas is in winter, we can't do it, I don't know. But let's just use a day in the nature. Nowruz, which the world becomes, first of spring, that renew itself. So it's based on the natural necessity. This is the way it has to go. As I mentioned to you before, the world order of Baha'u'llah is a natural approach of God, the way He designed the nature, the same way it's a natural order, a natural house, that He wants to use mankind as an ingredient to create, like a jigsaw puzzle, a meaningful unity. That when you put them together, they don't form an Ayatollah or Adolf Hitler or all other bad figures that you know. So that when they come together in the middle, they create a power, as a social power, a society that is bigger than the individual component. I myself as a person am much more powerful than the cell of one of my bodies. So this is the way God assembles my body. It creates this body only to be bigger than the individual members that comprises it. None of the cells in my body is as complicated and as powerful as myself. The society, if it wants to be progressive, and it's a reason for its unity, it has to be the same way. I mentioned last night, if a government or a togetherness, a society, a group, a nation, when the elected representative to govern it, they themselves as a unit, as a group, are not as good as the individual comprising it, then it's calling for